I want to share with you the greatest secret. It's so simple, but it's something that we don't realize. The funny thing about life is we experience it in real time. So at every moment, your consciousness is experiencing, well, what it is you're conscious about. So in life, you have the experiencer and you have the experience. Now, in any given moment, you are immersed in the experience. That may be even a memory, whatever it is, but at that moment, that's where you are. The thing is that the truth of life is that now you have to try to understand what this means. It's an amazing statement. It's an infinite progression. If you had to sum up what is life, it is an infinite progression. Because remember, from the perspective of the experiencer, every moment seems like the whole universe. But imagine I am, a scientist, and I decide to do a test. So I get myself a little rat, and in fact, it's born in the laboratory, and I have designed its entire life. Now, it doesn't know. All it knows is its experiences. So I designed that, on day one, it will have its mother's milk. On day two, I'm going to feed it some cheese. On day three, I'm going to feed it a different cheese. On day four, I'm going to let it decide which cheese it wants. So from the perspective of the rat, it is experiencing fully an entire life. From my perspective as the creator, I am guiding it to choose better choices. So the same thing is in our life. Now remember, our creator, unlike me, is infinite. It's very hard for us to understand what infinity is. The universe is infinite. Now, obviously, if I said time is infinite, that's not so hard to understand because you can sense that time is continuously moving, it's continuously going forward. But space is infinite. And that took, I'm not going to go through all the science, but Hubble Space Telescope, one of the greatest telescopes in the world, which is in space, the main reason they put this telescope in space, they wanted one answer. The universe, we all know that there was a time that it began to expand. So the theory was, well, if it started to expand with the force, it would start to collapse. Turns out that actually the 2011 Nobel Prize, this was based on supernovas, they said the universe on the outer edges expands 3 times as quick. It's just going quicker and quicker. And Hubble decided that it's going 10 times as quick. So it's like a balloon that's been blown up, and it's just continuously getting quicker, which is an infinite miracle. So too, what's going on in your life is infinite. And here's how the process works. It's very simple, actually. You go through an experience. Let's say when you're young. They say if you're not a liberal by the time you're 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative by the time you're 30, you have no head. So you're young, and hopefully you grow up in safety, and everything is beautiful. So you experience what? This kind of love. Now, that's a beautiful experience, and it's good to have. But it's also not realistic. Sometimes people, I know some artistic people, so, they're very fun to be with because they're very expansive, but they're also not in reality. They're just living in their own kind of space. So the point is that if you want to be effective in reality, you can't just live in kind of this like a child, like everything's great and everybody else is going to take care of me. You have to say, okay, well, what am I going to do to make the world a better place? In fact, that's the only way you can really feel good about yourself, that you accomplish something. So the point is that in order to go from an expansive, because we wouldn't want to contract ourselves because it feels good to feel that everybody's my friend and I love everybody. So in order to contract, something negative has to happen. And then somebody is a bully, they're jealous of you, and then you become afraid, and fear is a contraction because you're worried about something. So just like pain, so when you're not feeling pain, you feel like open. When you're feeling pain, you're like, it focuses you on a specific thing. So this contraction can actually be a good thing because before you were too dissipated, you weren't effective. But now that you went through this period, and again, it's got to be something really big that's going to focus you, but once you can get back your sense of equilibrium, so now you're balanced. And that's what it speaks about, the three sides of Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes. One is expansive, one is contracted, and one is in between. And the thing is that this process, this is just one of many processes, continues indefinitely, because everything we go through is teaching us a better skill